Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm streaming remotely here with one PC. So I'm trying to load up my page so I can even see if it's working. So let me know, Shelly, if it's working. Looks like we're working. Okay, cool. See if I can figure out a way to look at comments here. We're on Twitter. I'm going to... Give me a second here. Let's see. So the story is, I mentioned to everybody we got carpet, and they called this morning at 7. So it was a rush to get all the cars out of the driveway and get Emily out of her bed because they needed to get in there, and she's like trying to get a teenager to last second get ready was a nice little hassle. So I decided to take it over to Mom and Dad's here, where we're going to try to stream live. So let me see if I can get my comments open here. And it looks like I did. Maybe. But I can't read them. I'm trying to see comments, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Darn it. So show me. Now I can see Facebook comments at least. All right, well, I feel bad for the YouTubers. So Shelly, if anybody on YouTube wants to ask anything, I try to get to it. But yeah, I was streaming live. Good morning, everybody. First off, this is our Daily Brew. We talk weather, obviously. I did a live yesterday from Lauderdale. What is the name of that? Lauderdale by the beach or Lauderdale by... I looked it up, then there's a hyphen in between. Lauderdale by the sea. Is that right? Lauderdale by the sea? And so we did a little 919 live yesterday, drinking coffee from McDonald's, and had my 2 breakfast burritos. I was so excited about. Had my 1 hour sleep. Yeah, it was an amazing trip. So I told everybody I went down there, and it Lauderdale by the sea. Thanks, Shelly. Yeah, and there's supposed to be an apostrophe in between there. I think I figured it out. I always want to make sure I get people's hometowns right, even though I can't say them. I can at least type them. So we're going to ramble on. I got some graphics open. This, of course, is our Daily Brew. Going back to that. Brought to you by our good friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. It's Friday. And after the whirlwind that I had, with 1 hour of sleep and getting this live ready for today, I'll be hitting ABC on the way home. So if you live in Florida, a couple of fun things going on locally, by the way. The Silo Society at TBC is doing a little party tonight, so I'm going to be hanging out with my buddy Major and David for an hour or so. Tomorrow night, Saturday night. Oldsmar is doing their big celebration with fireworks tomorrow. So if you live in Pinellas County, Tampa, who cares, whatever. Ari Olds Park, the home of Mike's Weather Page, where we hang out all the time and do videos and stuff, they're going to have a huge fireworks display tomorrow night. And the weather's supposed to be phenomenal tomorrow night. So if you're in the area and you want to see fireworks, or if you're in the area and you hear fireworks, wonder what the hell's going on, it's fireworks in Oldsmar, and it's at 8 o'clock. And they have bands all day and music. Tampa Brew Company will be there. So if you're looking for something fun to do tonight and tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, Upper Oldsmar is doing a cool little celebration. Fun stuff and food trucks and all that goody stuff. So always looking for fun stuff to do, right? So check it out. Yeah, Shelly brought up a great point. What the heck's it called? Storm Freaks, right? Let me see if I can find it. So tomorrow they're doing a telethon. Let me Google it here. There's a 10 to 10 telethon tomorrow supporting charity. And I'm going to be on it. There it is. Stormfront Freaks is what it's called. Yep, Stormfront Freaks. They're doing check this out. Listen, it's going to be so much fun. It's online from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. I'll be on at 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern. Let me see if I can go to their page here. All right. So it's phenomenal what they got. They have Jim Cantori. It's a telethon. 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. I'm going to be on at 11 a.m. Eastern. They have everybody in the weather world. Mark Sudoth, even my buddy Reed Timmer is going to be on there. The NHC director, Ken Graham, is going to be on there. Ginger Lizzie. So anyway, that's going to be a big deal tomorrow. Just look them up, Stormfront Freaks. It's going to be a telethon, kind of after the old Mark Suda up there. I already mentioned him, so it'll be interesting. I'm gonna be doing it live from the softball field, and that's Saturday tomorrow. So that's good. I'm glad Shelly reminded me of that. Definitely tune in 11 a.m. to or 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and then I'm on at 11 a.m. So should be fun. So yeah, back to the storm. So I went down. So I was down there. Obviously, you've seen a bunch of videos. This storm ended up being like way more than I expected. I went down there thinking, 2, 3 out of 10 as far as intensity. It ended up, in my opinion, a 7 or 8 out of intensity. This is the storm in Miami. I knew driving across Alligator Alley, when I hit that wall of wind, it was like the truck instantly like, and I could hear it. You can hear wind. I was like, this. So I went on and looked, and there was 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts already in across Alligator Alley, and so the flooding, the rains, they're continuing. Central eastern Florida last night had a serious flooding issue there in Brevard County and I think Indian River County line. Still kind of raining there this morning. So that secondary low I talked about did form, and it right off the coast there, and it did not stop raining. So we're going to talk about all that. This is current radar. You can still see a little spin over here by the Cape. That's right by Shelly's house. So relentless rains. It is going to be gone today, though. So it's kind of moving north a little bit. So you might get some on the coastal areas of Georgia and South Carolina. You might get some in Jacksonville. But this is eventually pulling out soon. So the heavy stuff's winding down at least. The rainfall totals here, I posted this morning. This is the secondary area. I don't know where my little... Oh, it does work. This right here was the areas that kind of got the secondary little surge. And some of these estimates are upwards to 12, 14, 16 inches of rain. Everybody's focused on South Florida, but look at these pockets of rain that developed yesterday. But South Florida obviously overachieved. The Keys, tremendous amount of rain down there. And the winds, I think this is a story. So many reports of 70-mile-an-hour winds. Those are the videos that I posted with that hurricane howl. Of course, I got called out by saying hurricane howl. But listen, I've been in 9 hurricanes now, right? That sounded to me like the hurricane howl. And unless you've been in a hurricane, you don't realize that sound of like the roar. It's like a moan, like kind of like Chewbacca on Star Trek. But that was this, and where I filmed it, the power transformers were blowing up, and there was no power. So seeing those palm trees and that silhouette, and then hearing that howl, it was amazing. I mean, the upper level winds definitely were hurricane force. So that was it was incredible. It was in the debris everywhere. There was junk on the roads everywhere, like dodging cars. And I tell you what I learned. The flooding. So, you always see these videos of Miami and South Florida being flooded. I could not believe the amount of cars parked in the middle of the roads that were flooded out with their flashers going. Just like you see those videos on Weather Channel. And shout out to Weather Channel and Fox Weather. They used a lot of my videos that I took yesterday. So that makes me feel good that we can spread some Mike's Weather Page love on the networks. It's always cool to see. I had a few people tag me this morning. Hey, we saw your video. But there was cars stranded everywhere. And if you were with me live, so I streamed all night from like 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. There was a car in the middle of the road with no lights on. I turned the corner. I mean, that's how it's bad. And one thing I noticed down there was tow trucks everywhere. Like, you don't think about things like this, but tow trucks were moving cars left and right. Tow truck, because they need those roads cleared out. Cars can't be there in the middle of the commute, so that was something that brought to my attention. I've never thought about was tow trucks everywhere, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, just picking up cars, and I don't know where they take them, but I had a guy behind me. I went on. If you were following me, I was going to South Beach, and the on ramp was pretty sketchy, so I was going very, really slow. Well, guy behind me figured, he's gonna hit the gas. Well, I looked in my mirror, and the whole nose of his car was underwater. You couldn't even see his headlights. And I'm like, what? And I'm streaming live, so if you're watching me at 3 in the morning, I'm sorry, but if you were, his car passed out. It was like done. He had to park it right in the middle of the road. He didn't make it. So Tow trucks, love that. Todd, right? Take it when you can get it, right? So yeah, it was an interesting deal. And I had a great trip coming back on A1A. I got to see all the little towns. I drove all the way back to Port St. Lucie area and then came back across Yeehaw Junction. But it was fun. That's a nice ride. And I tell you, what's weird for me was all I ever think about with Miami and Lauderdale and Boca is the traffic. Right? When you take A1A, it's like non-existent. It's a nice little ride. It's a nice ride, literally nice. You go through all these little towns. You could stop at all these little beach bars. So it was a good time. So all right, let's talk about weather real quick. So here's the current look at windy. I love windy, but look at this little low. This little guy here. This is what merged last night. So yesterday we had, if you remember, I posted yesterday, we had some incoming and outgoing rains across the state that actually pushed across and helped this low that ended up being the Miami low. So originally Miami low kind of went here, then it got sucked back into this area yesterday. So this is still ongoing. There's your circulation. So if you're north of the Cape, you're getting incoming winds pretty good from the Atlantic, guaranteed. These are winds. And here's this low here yesterday that was here, and it kind of, all that moisture got fed over with the shear, a lot of wind shear above from that front line. So the actual low is here, but yesterday it was here in the middle Gulf, and all that convection helped aid that problem that we saw last night with the flooding. And I want to see if we can even see it right here. Well, not that one. I want to look at the Gulf. Where's the Gulf? Gulf. Here it is. I bet you we can see it. There it is. Look right here. So this is a classic naked swirl. Now my pointer ain't working, but it's right here. Anyway, and I'm telling you, this laptop has not been turned on since July. Last time I streamed on this laptop was during July when we were up in Panama. So it's it's trying hard. Cindy says, watch the speed limits on A1A. Yeah, I was going pretty slow. There's cops everywhere, though. One thing I noticed, too, every little small town had their own sheriff's department, which is pretty cool. So I kept thinking of, like, Roscoe and, more Miss Katie, what's up? Yeah, that's right, Shelly, what's up? Amy loves A1A. I do, too. I'm gonna make that trip again. There's so many places I wanted to stop, and I had so many people invite me to stop, and I can't have a beer because I got a long way home, and I was living on 1 hour of sleep. I did almost get towed away, though. I was in a parking lot. I guess it had nobody. And the funny story, I got to tell you this funny story. Here's the naked swirl, by the way. Look, down here, you can see it. My pointer going to work? Yeah, right here. So right there. This right here is awesome. This was what was up here 2 days ago, and it's drifted south. There's my John Madden little setup there. So the funny story is my storm chaser. So I got to close this thing. I won't close. How do you close out? Come on. Bye-bye. There we go. Come on. Get out of there. All right. So my storm chaser truck, I've kind of made just a truck because it's got all kinds of junk in it, man. I mean, I got my Furman generator in the back, gas. I got my Starlink. Got my laptops. I got, cooler in the back. Julie needs to know the password to the internet. Well, that's probably more important than what I'm doing right now, so I better give it to her. I did not want to be there with those carpet guys. They were awesome, but they had to move everything. And by the way, look at this. This broke today. This is my secondary laptop. I've never streamed without a secondary laptop. So this is a very new day for me. This guy broke, and I just picked one up. Amazon, same day delivery, $79. Comes with this foldable little magnetic thing, but maybe that's why it was only $79. Kind of sucks, but oh well. So the funny story with Sarah, I got to tell you this real quick. So I know that sometimes I need to sleep when I drive. So when I'm getting my storm chaser ready this year, I took one of Sarah's pillows in her blanket. Well, apparently she told Julie when I was gone, "Where'd my taco blanket go?" And she was mad. Julie called me, and this is Sarah, right? This is Sarah. Dad! So now I took her red pillow, and it's a big fluffy red pillow. And she knows I have it. We made a deal. She kept the taco pillow. She gave me the red pillow. So 2 nights ago when I'm sleeping in this parking lot, I had this big old red pillow, and I'm on on the seat. My mouth's probably hanging open because I could, when you sleep in a car for an hour or two, you never sleep. You're conscious, but you're sleeping. So I remember my mouth was wide open because I kept thinking I needed a drink, but there was nothing around, like Gatorade, not drink. So I guarantee the employees, when I woke up, it was getting daybreak, and I kept seeing people walking back and forth, like going to coffee, and they probably were all talking. There's this weird truck in our parking lot. There's a guy sleeping in there. So when I finally woke up, this guy walked over to me, and he asked me if I was with the county, and I'm like, no, because I had my yellow lights blinking, thankfully. I'm like, no, I'm with the state. Then I said, no, I'm with the media. And anyway, he didn't understand what I'm talking about. He's like, well, we can tow you. And I was like, so I left. But he was kind of nice, but I don't think they were nice. I think they were probably wondering. I was probably the talk of their office building. This weird truck that was running with a guy with a red pillow. So anyway, David from Jamaica. I'm only getting a few comments, so I'm trying to. I don't. Normally at home I have my YouTube chat going. I can read YouTubers. So sorry, YouTubers. So we're going to talk about Jamaica. We got Invest 98. So anyway, this is the current satellite. Here's our naked swirl down here. All right, let's get going here because I got people watching in Jamaica. Somebody today kind of pissed me off. They said, who cares about Bermuda? Well, 63,000 people live in Bermuda, buddy. And we have paid supporters there that are appreciative of what I do. I'm a content creator. Me and Shelly were talking about this. I post and I provide content. If you like my content, like if you like anybody's content, that's why you subscribe and that's why you support. It's the same reason you tip a pizza guy that you don't even know $10 to put the pizza on the neighbor's house and not yours, and it's cold, but you still tip him $10. We have a $4.99 subscription for a month to appreciate the content that I post, and we get emails of people that are like going crazy. Like, I pay for Mike, and I demand this. I'm like, oh, really? 30 days of posting content, and, whatever. So going back to Bermuda, we have a lot of supporters in Bermuda. That's why I talk about Bermuda. That's why we talk about Jamaica. Just because the storm doesn't come to you doesn't mean other people aren't affected. All right, anyway. It's hopeless. Here's the current winds. This is so cool to see. This is your current wind directions coming in from the north to Daytona Beach, Palm Coast here. You can see the definite switch in direction starting to come up around Titusville. So current gusts, not like we saw, but, 20s, 30s currently. All right, so let's talk about PTC. So the reason they call it a PTC, it's potential tropical cyclone. It's not quite there yet. Years ago, they could not issue tropical storm watches or warnings unless there was an actual storm. So it was silly because everybody knew there was going to be a storm tomorrow, but they weren't allowed to post watches or warnings because it wasn't a named system yet. Like Sandy. When Sandy becomes subtropical, they stopped issuing watches and warnings, and everybody was like, why? Well, because that's not their job anymore. It's not our job. Well, then they changed that, at least. So that now they can issue watches and warnings even though it's not vents. They expect it to be vents tonight, by the way. Biggest issue with vents is obviously rain. Not expected to be a hurricane. Sloppy. It's going to merge with a frontal boundary this weekend. It looks like it's going to bring rain later in the weekend to Bermuda as our frontal line comes in. I'll show you all that. But basically, Panama, Costa Rica, Jamaica, Southeast Cuba, all the islands out there, Hispaniola, through Monday morning. So it's heading that way. Rain's a big deal for them down there. Here's the latest tracks from Tropical Tidbits. Obviously, maybe it's the last spaghetti models of the year, but we'll see. It's looking like things are quietening down. There's really nothing showing yet, but we did have a system in January last year, remember? And this system that we just had, people question, like, why wasn't it a storm? Well, it didn't fit the definition of a storm, which has to have a warm core, I don't know. Doesn't mean they might not come back and say it was a storm because they did it in January. So all the people that want to argue, I'm going to pull up the videos we were doing in January because we were watching this low that came off the Carolina coast last January, and it looked tropical, and everybody was like, that looks like a storm. They said it wasn't, and life went on. Well, then several months later, they reanalyzed the data, and they're like, it was a storm. They might do that with this system. So, I don't get into arguments. I just call it what it looks like. And that satellite pictures that I showed, it looked like a storm. And it had storms around the center. And it was strong in the Keys. We had 78 mile an hour wind gusts for tons of people with this system. And there was tornadoes. And so it was just, there wasn't a lot of thunder and lightning with it because it was cold, you know. But anyway, that's that. Here's what it looks like juicy wise. Right here is Jamaica. Let me see if I can pull it up here. This is Jamaica right here. That little spot right there. And I know we got a lot of people in Jamaica. So this has been an easternly skewed system. So most of the rain seems like it's staying on the eastern side. Doesn't mean you can't get a pocket of rain, but it's always been showing a sheared system off to the east. So the heaviest blobs are in black. And that's where it's going. Windy on this. Let's take a look at this. I want to look at waves too, since we got people cruising. But overall, this is what we're looking at in general. Here's Friday afternoon tonight. So, like I said, it is the most. It's not very organized. You know, here's what's going on right now. Here's our low off of Florida. So we'll kind of look at both things. Everything's trending off to the northeast. Let's look at tonight, Friday tonight. So there's your heavy rains for Jamaica tonight, getting into Cuba and Hispaniola. There's our coastal low moving out of Florida. Rain should start to decrease really quick here across Florida. There's Bermuda over here where it says Hamilton. And there's a front coming down. So look at this. We got three things. We got Jack, Janet, Chrissy. Three's a company. And look, there's a frontal line. This is tonight. So there's a front coming in, pulling up Florida low, pulling up Vince. Vince looks weak. Tomorrow morning, here's, I don't know, let's just stop about right here. This is tomorrow, 9 a.m. Front line merges with Florida low, and there's Hamilton stuck in the middle, and then here's whatever Vince is, which is not looking very organized. But overall, there's your juice, big old stretchy, juicy thing. This is tomorrow night. Now, our low does appear to deepen. How close it gets to New England will determine what they get over the weekend. Obviously, Maine, Nova Scotia area will get a nor'easter, basically. And here's Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Gone Sunday morning. So if you're wondering about, southeast, Florida, things look pretty good. Like this after today, the southeast, eastern seaboard, beautiful weekend. Some of your rain. Let's look at some of the latest rain. I know we got a lot of people watching down in Jamaica area. So let's look at the latest rain estimates. Rain accumulation for the next 3 days. So it's still skewed. Let me get my data points here. Where the heck is my data points? There it is. Still middle eastern part showing on the Euro as far as rains go. Could still have 6 inches, 8 inches rains. We got 15 inches showing up here. So, I mean, it's all isolated, but this obviously the colors is the track. GFS showing about the same, 4 to 5 inches. The heaviest, the western point has always been light. The heaviest has been more center eastern. And according to GFS, the Haiti might not get a lot. And then, of course, Turks and Caicos. So, it's not really shaping up to be anything too worrisome. Now here's Bermuda, 3.5 inches of rain, 3 inches. So you're getting rain in Bermuda. So there you go. It's not too much to worry about. Let's look at seas real quick. Let's see when the seas are going to back off here, and then we're going to talk about Thanksgiving. I know there's a lot of people cruising right now, worried about the winds and the seas. It's going to be rocky. I got my buddy John. I don't know if I can get a little closer than that. Will it show up on Southeast? I don't know. Yeah. See, it sucks, man. Oh, God, I told him, like, it ain't going to be good, buddy. For Friday. Today's Friday. So if you're leaving today, red is not good. It's 20 foot. And let me tell you what I saw on the Atlantic coast. Those seas out away in the deeper parts of the Atlantic were humongous. Like, you could see them crashing in the distance. Like, I mean, some of the models predicted 30, 40 foot seas, and I believe it. I mean, it was massive out there. I don't know what these ships are going to do. I saw a video somebody posted that Carnival was leaving Nassau last night, and it was unbelievably rocky. So let's say Friday afternoon. So if you're leaving the Cape, you still got orange seas or 15 foot, and they're going to be incoming strong from the east. So it's not going to be fun leaving. Now tomorrow morning, this is overnight. Look at that. There's our low moving on out. By overnight, this is when you should already be probably enjoying that drink package, so you won't even feel it. 10-foot seas. And what they'll do, they'll stay really close to the shore, obviously. And they'll try to get there quick at least. So and then maybe they'll find a place to park. If you always notice on the western side of the Bahamas there, it's always calm because the islands actually shield the big waves. So when you get coastal advisories in Florida, most of the time they're Okeechobee North because they have a direct shot from the Atlantic. Or South Florida gets a little protection from the Bahamas. But here's Saturday morning, a lot better. Tomorrow morning. So it's, leaving the port's the worst tonight. When the ships are rocking and rolling. But look at tomorrow morning, and then really starts to get light. Luckily, tomorrow evening's 10 foot. Not the worst. I mean, could be a lot worse. Sunday's looking really good. So it ain't gonna be the best, but it ain't gonna be that bad. So that's good. Should be a good weekend if you're out there, for sure. All right, so let's talk about what's coming. Boom. All right, this is Thanksgiving week storms. And again, I'm doing this remotely, so I usually can look at comments. So I apologize, but I just don't get a chance to read them all. I met some cool people though this weekend. It was crazy. I'm flying my drone at Jupiter Inlet. I cannot believe my new drone did phenomenal. It flew in probably 50-mile-an-hour winds, and I was able to move forward, you talk about my heart pounding. Well, anyway, a fan came up and goes, he watches us. So I gave him a koozie and stickers. Met another gentleman at a Publix parking lot. He tagged me on X, and he was a good fan. And the funniest story I want to share you real quick, and then we're going to talk about Thanksgiving. So I went to Palm. I don't even know the name of the city. I don't want to mess them up here. Let me look at my maps here. It's south of Port St. Louis. So if you were watching my lives, I was craving a Publix sub, and I ended up pulling into a Publix, and it was, let's see, where the hell was it? Palm Coast, maybe? Is that a city Shelly says? I don't even know now. Palm Bay. Maybe it's Palm Bay. Might have been Palm Bay. I think it was Palm Bay. It was Palm Bay. That's when I started cutting across, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Was it Palm Bay? Where's Yeehaw Junction at? Wait a minute. It was... Hold on a minute. I don't even remember where I cut over at. This is bad. I took the turnpike north a long way. Where's the turnpike at, by the way? Oh, God. Let's see. There's a turnpike. I don't even remember where I picked the turnpike up. It was Palm something, I thought. I can look at the receipt. Palm Bay. Maybe it's Palm Bay. Okay. Well, anyway. That doesn't even matter. The point of the story was in the self-checkout line, a lady looks at me. I look at her. Make eye contact. And she goes, I don't have anything to be worried about, do I? It was a Cantori moment, That was all. It was so funny because that was subtle. Like why? Then she goes, "Why are you in my town?" And I said, "Because you got good BOGO specials." Anyway, all right. Thanksgiving. So last week. This week is this last week. What day is it today? I don't even know. So we've been talking about this front coming down. So Thanksgiving week, there's a big cold front coming down. And if you wondered what these posts were, I posted about dipping jet streams. I've been sharing like a 500 millibar vorticity maps and some 700 maps. Basically, when you have a big dip in the jet stream and it gets close to the Gulf, you have the potential for storms. Almost like a little cutoff low sometimes even. So the SPC yesterday showed it. Today, this is what they're showing. Day 5 yesterday, this is day 4, meaning they usually don't issue these day 4, day 5 outlooks if they expect severe weather. This is a severe weather map. has a large area in Upper Gulf Coast, so there's a good chance Monday, Tuesday we could see some strong storms. Is what I'm getting at. And if you've also been paying attention to our post, there's been a secondary surge of moisture and storms that was been showing off and on enough for me to talk about it, and it's really showing up now. I'm going to show you that. So, big cold front coming down. Not about being cold, but storms, yes. And this could be something to really watch in the Upper Gulf Monday, Tuesday, next week. So here is topical tidbits. Let me kind of just show you in general what we're doing here. All right, so here's next Tuesday. Let me rewind it a little bit. So bottom line, we know there's a big dip in the jet. I can show you that. It's kind of boring, but here you go. This is it starts to brew. Right now the jet stream's dipping south, pulling up that warm Gulf moisture. And you get a lot of instability in the atmosphere. You got a strong jet going this way. You got winds being pulled up from the Gulf going this way. Next thing you know, you get instability in the atmosphere, and you get chances for tornadoes, and that Gulf fuels storms. So this is Tuesday morning, and this is the GFS, and it just kind of shows you a possible strong line of storms developing. It does what it does. Florida sometimes gets left out, but I'm telling you, after this week, there's a lot of people in Florida don't care anymore. We might not get a lot of rain out of it. So here's Wednesday morning. So the theme has been, at least Thanksgiving morning doesn't look that bad. The big question here Wednesday is going to be snow on the backside. It's been showing off and on. A little bit of snow in the mountains northward. This could be, pretty strong setup here Wednesday evening. This has been talked about. So as the front goes through, don't know what's going to happen in the northeast. We could have a big nor'easter. That's a lot of heavy snow there north of Long Island, showing 989 pressure. So, a lot of travel on Wednesday, and I've been starting to see more and more people talking about Wednesday could be a mess with travel. So might want to get on the inside maybe and change your travel dates to Tuesday, beat the madness that might come if we have a northeast storm. But what's been showing, look down here, product of El Nino. Remember, what is that? I heard myself talking. So El Nino, we've been talking a lot about what El Nino means for the South. Well, when you have a dipping jet stream, you have a lot of winds that come out of that Pacific, and it drives storms in the Gulf towards the southeast, specifically Florida. We've seen it twice now with tornadoes. A couple weeks ago, we saw yesterday and the day before with rains. Is we have a big push of juice towards Florida. Now, next week we could see something brewing down here in the Gulf of Mexico again. And look, so the main front goes through Wednesday. Thursday morning, we're looking pretty good for Thanksgiving morning, but surge here may be coming, and this is Texas. So this has been really consistent on the models. Possibility, a little secondary push of moisture, and the GFS is showing this kind of Thanksgiving Day now. So this has been showed. So we'll see if this happens or not, but we can get front and then a secondary surge, and this right here would be like Friday, and this could be storms. So this is kind of what's been trending, is this secondary pop like a day after Thanksgiving, and it's kind of showing up on the Euro too. So the Euro placement on our front here for Wednesday. Here's Tuesday. Storms. You can see the low pressure dipping south. There's your storm line. Could be storms across the upper Gulf. Storm chasers are going ballistic right now because they love chasing these storms. So they're all talking about it. Could be some storms on Tuesday. Then we get to Wednesday morning. This doesn't show you the snow on this map, but here is Wednesday. Look, 990 pressure, almost like the GFS. Nor'easter possibly setting up. So again, New England area could be dealing with a Wednesday storm. This is Wednesday in our front, at least for Thursday morning. Looks good. But watch what the Euro does. Another little pop here a day or two later. And this one comes up from the south. And this would be Saturday on the Euro. And this would be I think more Friday on the GFS. So that secondary pop is not confident, but it's enough to talk about it, that we could see a little something coming after the main line. Temperatures, since everybody always wonders, let's look at snowfall potential on a blend of models here for coming for... So the blend of models for me works the best because you get a little more spread in the thinking with snowfall, so you don't get these outliers. But overall, going into Thanksgiving, man, it's still not showing a lot as a blend goes. So still, and the thing I'm reading with a lot of the guys I follow is it's just model spread has just been way all over the place. So, here's your latest through Thanksgiving. Obviously, New York North, but man, not seeing much down here anymore with the mountains. So, I did not buy a ticket yet. Tell you that. So now, I didn't even look at this morning, but still not seeing strong. And I noticed that with temperatures. When we go back to temperatures, we're not seeing it being like a really massive cold front as far as temperatures go. So going towards Thanksgiving here, Wednesday night, you can see that front line coming down, but it just doesn't really seem like it has much. I mean, there's Wednesday. Yeah, we might get some 30s in the mountains, Wednesday night. This is when we would have snow, like Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. But the Euro is still showing. No, this is GFS. Let's look at the Euro. I don't like the GFS. It's all over the place. Here's a Euro. Next Wednesday. So here's when your best chances of snow would be Wednesday of next week. Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Temperatures are in the 30s. Thursday morning, Euro's still showing pretty snappy cold snap here. So could still be some 30s and 40s in the Panhandle Thanksgiving morning, 50s and 60s throughout. So yeah, the Euro still thinks it's going to be cold. So highs possibly on Thanksgiving Day could be 60s across half of Florida and highs in the 50s for everybody else. What is that? Let's cross this off your list. Oh, they keep trying to get me to upgrade my Windows, and I refuse to change. At least that's all it said. It could have said something else, like your order and your tea back. All right. So Thanksgiving still looks pretty darn cool for everybody that cold front gets through. I like looking at this humidity map here. We can look at moisture and Thanksgiving here. You can see a lot of brown, which means dry, and a little bit of moisture kind of remains humidity-wise, not rain, for Thanksgiving Day. And here's that secondary little pop coming in, maybe bringing some storms after Thanksgiving. So we're definitely watching that secondary little pop here Friday, Saturday in the southeast. As far as Thanksgiving goes day-wise, not bad, Don't see a lot of rain for a lot of folks. Here's Thursday, so let's hope that happens, right? This is Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. Not a lot, so that's the trend. Northeast is the big question mark. What happens up there? And we'll see if they get a big snowstorm or not. There's your Northeast. Thursday, not a lot, but the GFS definitely showing a little more active chance for possible snow in the Northeast. So just keep an eye on that. I know we got the Macy's Day Parade and all that stuff. So at least that looks pretty good. This would be more Wednesday right here. So if the GFS verifies, we got 980 pressure on the Euro. This is Wednesday, so we could see, and that's been pretty consistent. So if you're traveling in the Northeast, Wednesday definitely has a potential possibly for some nasty weather. In fact, let's look at the Euro over here. We can see the snow map a little better for the Northeast. And then we'll look at winds for the parade floats. I don't see anything yet that would stop them. I know some years we actually have done parade forecast. Um, so there you go. This will be Wednesday. This is the Euro. So snow on the backside, but definitely shaping up to be something possible. Cape Cod area Wednesday. So there's, definitely got a big bad front coming in, 990 pressure. So we'll see what kind of snow we get out of that. Winds, let's look at winds since we're on the Euro. And just kind of get an idea on the float situation. Wind gust for Thanksgiving Day would be 23rd. Here we go. Oh, that's max. We want to go current live time. So let's go wind gust here. So next Thursday, here's Wednesday, obviously windy. I mean, look at that. That's that storm coming through Wednesday. But now Thursday morning, pretty light winds. Not too bad showing up, really. So at least Thanksgiving looks pretty good if you like the parade. We like the parade. It's such a weird feeling, the parade, right? When it, I don't know, man. It's not depressing because it's fun, Christmas, but it's like, it's reality. Like, oh my God, it's December. Like, where'd the year go? Maybe it's the anticipation of, do I have my lights up? We got to start shopping. Oh my God, we got Christmas cards. It's like the panic sets in when you see the Macy's Day Parade. It's like, oh, it's here. It's 24/5. Well, at least this year Thanksgiving's early. It's one of the earliest Thanksgivings. I think I read it's like the third earliest ever. Is that true? So don't feel bad if you don't have your lights up because it's early this year. So that's a good thing. For sure. But somehow we made it to 10. Shelly, should I mention anything else? I think I went over everything else. Remember the secret to any social media? I post a lot. So if you go to my page here, the app has it too. The best reason to have the app, and it's, $2 a month. Well, actually, if you buy it a year, it's only it's less than that. But one cool thing about the app is, I got PTC on here. You can see everything. But Mike's post. And the key to social media is not the post I just posted. It's the post before that I posted. And when you go to Mike's post, you can see everything. And I usually post 5 to 10 things a day in the morning. And it's also on my webpage right here. Everything that I post here. So the thing I'm just as guilty as anybody. I'll sit there and scroll, and you only see what they put for you to see. And it might be something a day ago, 2 days ago. It's not the most current thing. And it's kind of why the X, I like the X a little bit because it's kind of more about now. But just because I didn't, you don't see something doesn't mean it wasn't talked about. So you got to look at all the posts. I post a lot. And if you haven't figured out, in the mornings, I post a lot in the mornings. We do our live, and then I take a little break because I got to do a TikTok and update the website and stuff like that. So it's all in the morning. And welcome all the TikTokers. We are so close to 250,000. I think I'm at 248. 248,000. Crazy. Just started that. So Shelly says we're good. That's good. I can't believe I got a monitor coming in one day, $79. Yep. Hit the page at 8 a.m., 10 a.m. See all the posts. Don't forget our cruise. We got about 3 weeks left before our prices go up. So right here, it's Friday. If you want to come party with the MWP crew, Shelly, Phil, Mike, Julie, Rachel, the Storm Chaser that saved the Storm Chaser, Miss Rachel. You want to hang out at the bar? You don't have to ask me twice. It's a great week, and I do a seminar on the ship. It's really cool. We do a certificate of preparedness. So if you're in the industry, you can write it off. It's actually put on by a company called Continuing Education. So they do this all the time for doctors and lawyers. They do conferences at sea now. So basically, one of the mornings we do a nice hour-and-a-half presentation that I love doing. Then we have a nice Q&A afterwards. Then we have a lot of other stuff going on too. We got a free open bar cocktail party on the ship. swag bags and stickers and koozies and giveaways. And Furman Power Equipment's their big title sponsor. They always give away something fun to everybody. And so sign up. Prices are great during spring break. Come on, you only live once. I think we got like 8 cabins left. We're trying to get 50. Otherwise, Phil's got to stay with the crew, the cabin crew on deck 1. Good old Phil. All right. Well, that was good. Hey, first successful live with only a laptop. We're at Mom and Dad's house. She's decorated for Christmas already. Look. So me and what is this guy? Well, she didn't even take the tag off it yet. Probably a Christmas present. Who's that lady on Hee Haw that always had the tag? There it is. She came back as a snowman. Matt, do you want to build a snowman? So anyway, all right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks, Shelly. If appreciate all the support on X, Facebook, and especially YouTube. Sorry, YouTubers, I didn't get to read comments today. But we're all, hey, Shelly's we're at 70,000 almost. We're almost at 100,000 on YouTube. So definitely excited about that. I guess we get a cool little plaque. So, neato, right? So weather that we're watching, rain's pulling out. Invest 98 is going to be Vince. More of a rain threat for all of our friends down there in the islands. Messy for Bermuda this weekend. Frontal line coming in. Maybe a nor'easter out of the Florida low. But the bigger weather story is going to be first part of next week. And we got a potential for some storms in the upper Gulf Coast. And then maybe that secondary surge for Friday into the weekend after Thanksgiving. So that's kind of what I got my eyes on for right now. All right. So that's it for me. Have a great weekend. Make sure you stop by your local ABC, as I will be doing, because we have softball in Palmetto, and we're doing a concert Saturday night. I don't even know who we're seeing. The girls bought the ticket. Some newer guy. Dylan Scott. So that's what we're doing. All right, see it. I don't know how to turn it off now. I don't remember. Oh, I got to do it right here.